Hi everyone, it's Shannon and welcome to today's video. So today's video, I'm finally getting a chance to review the Natasha Denona I Need a Warm eyeshadow palette. So if you are new to my channel, I love Natasha Denona. I personally love her midi palettes. I actually stopped getting, I had all the minis at one point and then I just decided, you know what? I'm not going to purchase them anymore because I always reached for the midis. So I have all the midis that have come out. I probably will start to declutter some once I do a ranking video, which I need to get around to doing. So when this one came out, I was absolutely going to get it. But I was surprised it came out as quickly as it did. I ordered this on August 20th when it was the pre-sale early access on her website. I did get overnight shipping, but it was delayed and then we went out of town. So I didn't get it for a while and I ended up, and then I didn't have a chance to film. So I did get it right before Labor Day weekend. So what I did is my family and I went out of town. So I took this with us to our little trip and wore it for 3 days. And I really got a chance to use it and see like how I like it. Now, the colors are beautiful. This is like all me. One of my favorite palettes is the bronze palette. So I was very excited about this one. But the golden palette came out in June. So this one came out in August. The golden palette came out in June, which I also love. But I was surprised it came out. So I'm kind of wondering, like, was there, you know, maybe a delay with the golden palette? I don't know. But nonetheless, I'm very excited about this palette. I was very excited to receive it. But I'm going to say, like, did we really need this palette? Okay, so first of all, if you hear screaming, that is my 8.5-year-old son. It's evening, he's up, he's yelling. So, but from the website, this states, Natasha transforms her best-selling I Need a Nude Eyeshadow Palette into the ultimate neutral warm rendition, from peachy nudes and rich caramels to bronzy hues and golden browns. The 15-pan I Need a Warm Eyeshadow Palette debuts two brand new innovative formulas, a slip cream matte and metal gloss. So again, this is now, you can tell I have used it. So it's very, you know, it's very versatile as far as using it. It's very, you can make it every day. You can make it, you know, glam. But one of the things I noticed when I was using it is that I didn't get a lot of very different looks. The shimmers, like, you can definitely switch up the mattes, and that's going to, because you have these three right here that are a little bit more warm, and then you've got some more neutral ones, so you can definitely switch it up with the mattes. However, the shimmers, there's not a lot of differences between the shimmers, and there's not that many. So one of the things I noticed was my look kind of looked the same. It didn't, you know, where some palettes you can kind of add one different shimmer and it's going to give you a completely different look. You didn't really get that in this palette. I am going to do a look today just so you can see it, but then I'm going to show you just the try and get like the 3 looks that I got. I didn't, there was only one day, the last day, that I actually filmed my look. I didn't do it the other 2 days. The first day I had to do this in the car. So the first time I used this, I put my eyeshadow on in the car because we hit 2 accidents on our way and I had to do my makeup in the car. So it is what it is. But it worked great in the car and it didn't break, so that was good. But the quality is great. Quality is everything you expect from Natasha Denona. And I will tell you, I will use this palette. You know, for a 3-night weekend trip, this was the only palette I brought, and I really wasn't able to get a variety of looks like I can with some of her other palettes. Okay, I'm gonna show swatches outside in natural light, but before we do, I just wanted to break it up here, and I already did the swatches. They are going to be, first we're gonna do the mattes in lightest to darkest for the most part. So here are the mattes, lightest to darkest. Now this last one is the Slip Cream, which is the shade Flashover. It's a really unique shade. I did use that one. How I liked that one is really kind of to line, and if you wanted to do like a wing, really, really great shade for that. But these are the mattes. So you can see there's a little bit of differential between them. This one is kind of more peachy, and then you have some more neutral ones, but these are the mattes. So I would say for the most part, the mattes, there's not any really close shades, because that's something that Natasha Denona does do, where some of the shades are just so close. They're not that close, but they are very, you know, when they put them on the eye, there's subtle differences. However, you know, there was one day I was wearing like a pink shirt, so I went for the more neutral tones and not the peachy ones, etc. And that really did make a difference. So here are the mattes. Okay, and now we're going to take a look at the like metallics. So you'll see here, the first two are very similar. They're different formulas, but there's just a slight difference. So this first one is Fancy, which is a metallic champagne, and the second one is Elm, which is a sparkling foiled light bronzy nude. The finish is a little bit different, but not a huge difference where you're gonna really notice it on the eye. Next we have Snug, and Snug is one of the new formulas, the Metal Gloss, and it is a Metal Gloss soft bronze. This one right here is Push. Push is a sparkling foiled medium rusty rose gold. The Phenomena this is my favorite shade. This is the multi-chrome peach pink green, so it's a really pretty shade. And then you have Homie, which is the other Metal Gloss warm nude, and it looks darker in the pan, but it's actually much lighter. And then this last one is Dynasium, and it is a duochrome medium brown with green specks. I'm not a big fan of the darker, you know, shimmery shades, just because I just don't really wear them. So I'm glad there's only one. I just wish there was another one, but you will see like these two shades, very similar. These two shades, very similar. This one is very different. This one's different. And this one again looks lighter in the pan. So I'm actually I'll use that one today. This one's gorgeous. I wore this one, but these are very similar. And if you're trying to get like a different look, that's what I noticed. And that was my frustration with this palette over the weekend, was that I couldn't get like a different look. I was just like, okay, what am I gonna do today? And it's like, okay, I pretty much look, and again, it looked different. It had a little bit of difference, but you know, I wanted just something, you know, something different. And I, you know, to be honest, like the big test is, did my husband notice? And the answer is no. Okay, and I just realized that there's another shade that I completely missed, and it is the bottom one in the middle, and it actually kind of disproves what I just said, was that I'm glad there's only one dark, you know, metallic shade. Well, actually there's two, so there you go. So this is Hanker. And I'll just swatch it here. So this is Hanker, and Hanker is a metallic medium dark golden brown, very neutral brown. And then I will just swatch Dynasium again, just so that you can see it next to it. So you can see it. This Hanker is actually very deep. So when I do the swatches outside in the natural light, I'll make sure to include both, but these are both. And again, I'm just not a big fan of the metallic darker shades. Okay, and so before we move on, here are the swatches outside in natural light. So first up, here are the swatches of the mattes from lightest to darkest, again in natural light, just so that you can see what the difference is between the shades. And then here we have the shimmers. So these are the shimmers that, you know, metallics, the Metal Gloss, all of them. These are so you can see, again, there's really not a huge difference. They're gorgeous shades, they're gorgeous finishes, but there's very subtle differences. Except for that one duochrome, there's very subtle differences between the shades. Okay, and I'm gonna do a really quick look. I'm not even gonna show it all on camera, I'm just gonna show a little bit, but I'm gonna use the shade Soft Spot as the transition shade. Then I'm gonna go in with Pep, which is one of the darker shades. It is the matte deep warm brown. And then I am going to use that shade Homie all over the lid. So I'll do this really quick. So first we're gonna start up with Soft Spot, and Soft Spot is a matte medium earthy brown. And again, I'm just going to put this in as the transition shade. Okay, so here is the shade Soft Spot. Beautiful, went on great. Again, the quality, everything is what you would expect from a Natasha Denona palette. So next up is gonna be Pep, and Pep is, I think, the deepest brown, and not the new creamy shade, the Slip Matte. But I'm gonna go ahead, and I think this is just a regular matte, but this is Pep, and this is a deep matte brown. Okay, so I went on the outside of the corner and then brought it into the crease. Again, that's the shade Pep. And then next I'm going to use I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to go in with that shade Homey, which is this metal gloss shade. So I don't think I used this one over. I think I swatched it, but I don't think I used it because it looked darker in the pan, and it is actually really pretty. So I do really like the shade, and it's going on beautifully. And this is that new metal gloss. I did use the Snug shade, which is the other metal gloss, but this one looks a lot darker and deeper in the pan, but in reality it's not. Okay, so there it is on the eye, and I actually really like this one. And one thing I will say is that this one is different than the other, two, like the Snug and Push, because those were both peachy. So this one is more of a nude bronzy type shade. So I do like that. Like I said already, it looks a lot deeper in the pan than what it is. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to line the lower lashes with the transition shade of Soft Spot. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the shade Elm, which is the sparkling foiled light bronzy nude. I'm going to use that one as the brow bone and the inner corner highlight. Okay, I'm going now in with Elm on the inner corner and also the brow bone. Okay, so here is my final look. What I'm going to do now is I am going to put some mascara on and come back and give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I have come back. I just put a little bit of mascara on and touched up my lipstick, and that is it. So let's go ahead and take a look and compare it to just a side by side to some of the other Natasha Denona palettes so that you can kind of see what the difference is. So here is the I Need a Nude. This is the one that everybody kind of thought. And here is the I Need a Warm. So definitely this one has got like some more rose. Now this one I thought had a little bit more versatility within it than this one. Which one am I gonna gravitate towards? Probably the warm, just because those are the tones, though I love the I Need a Nude. I think both are gorgeous, so that's them, but it's a very different palette because it has a different undertone. Okay, next up we're going to compare it to Golden, which came out 2.5 months before, and you can see this one is just that. It's definitely more gold. This one is more peachy. So this one has got more, a neutral undertone, but they are very different. I think they're very complementary to each other. So, and the same thing with the I Need a Nude. I think if I were to take all three palettes on vacation, you could definitely interchange a lot of the shades, but I think the whole point is I don't really want to do that. I want a palette that's going to do it all. So, but this is the difference. I like both. I haven't really gotten to play with both of them to see which one I like better. That will probably be coming. I am hopefully going to be doing a ranking in the near future. So those are the two kind of Natasha Denona palettes that I think are similar. And then I want to just kind of compare to some other palettes that are less expensive or more affordable, different formulas, not the Natasha Denona formula, but and these aren't dupes like the Alter Egos. These are just comparable palettes. So this is the Ambiance palette from Sigma, and this is the I Need a Warm palette. The one thing I will say with this one is you're going to get similar looks, and there's just more versatility. You can see the mattes. This is kind of like the Golden and I Need a Warm had a baby. Like, it's kind of all the best shades in the I Need a Warm and then the best shades in Golden kind of combined. Now, Sigma formula is great. It's not Natasha Denona, especially the shimmers, but it is a great, formula. But that's what I kind of think that this Ambiance is. It's kind of a combination of the two palettes. The last one I want to compare is definitely an affordable one, and one that I think a lot of people don't talk about, our brand, and this is the Lorac Meraki palette. I think that's how it's pronounced. Now this one I think has like 30 shades, no, 25 shades. This has 25 shades. This one has 15, and you can see the pan size are much smaller. But this is one of those palettes that just has everything, and I have taken this one on vacation, and you can get a lot of different looks. You can kind of see it's kind of like 5 mini palettes in one. So this is the comparison. Now you have Definitely some shades that you're gonna have in here, you're gonna find in here. You can get a lot of the same looks. Again, formula, we're not talking about formula, we're just talking about looks. I don't know what the price of this one is off at, at the moment, but you have some rose tones, you have some golden tones, you've got the neutral tones. So this is a really good alternative because you're going to get more. And I think as far as like traveling, this is a really great palette to travel with, and it's going to be a lot more affordable than the 69 palette, and then also just easier to travel with. It's cardboard, just really easy to travel with. So I wanted to give kind of two alternatives so that if you didn't want to spend $69, you don't have to, obviously. But I do have a promo code with Natasha Denona. It's just Shannon, and that's going to save you 15%. So 15% is, I think, just under $10, or maybe it's about $10. So we'll save you some money. But again, I wanted to show you some more affordable options. Okay, and now I'm going to try some footage. Like I said, I only shot my eye look the last day because I completely forgot. But this is some footage from the first night that I wore it. We went to the Halloween party at Magic Kingdom, and just very simple. Again, I did this look doing it in the car, so it wasn't necessarily my best eyeshadow look or even makeup job, but I did pretty good considering, and it was very easy to use even in the car, so that's a good thing. And then this is the second day. Actually, this is the third day of our trip. The second day, I didn't wear any eyeshadow. I actually didn't even wear any makeup. But this is the first day that we went to Universal Studios, and this was the day that I wore that duochrome, or the multi-chrome, just a really great shade. Loved it, and it lasted all day. And then here's the one I actually shot. Can't really tell you which shades I wore. I really don't remember, but they were very neutral. Just a really great, I think I was wearing a white shirt, so I really could wear whatever I wanted in the palette. Really great. And I will say the makeup held up fantastic. Like the eyeshadow, especially that second day, I filmed my my look at the end of the day, and my eyeshadow held up, and we got rained on, we got literally poured on, and my eyeshadow, and actually my whole makeup looked great. So but those are just kind of the three looks that I got over the course of the weekend. Were they different? Yeah, a little bit, but I noticed the difference. But really, is anybody else going to notice? Maybe not. So that was and that's kind of my biggest frustration with this palette. You're gonna get it's a warm palette, it's a neutral palette, you're gonna get what you get. I'm not gonna be disappointed. I know that I can use this palette. If I have to go somewhere in a pinch, I can pull out this palette and I'm gonna be able to get a look like that, super easy. Today's look, super easy, didn't have to give it much thought. That's what this palette is. But if you take it on like a, I wouldn't take this on like a week trip by itself. Like if I wanted to take one palette for a week-long vacation, this would not be the palette because I would only get one look. So that's the only thing that I think is, but it's kind of, it is very much like the I Need a Nude, and it's a good palette. So I think, do you need I Need a Warm? Probably not. Do you want it? That depends on you if you like warm tones. So I will say, if you like it, you're not going to be disappointed, but you don't need it. And at the very, if you want to get these types of tones, then maybe just wait for the alter ego to come out, because it'll likely be $22 as opposed to $69. I'm happy with it. I love it. When I do my ranking, I expect this one probably to be in the top 5, to be honest, because I do love the tones. But I don't know, we'll see, because there's a lot of palettes. She has so many great palettes out there. But the quality is fantastic. The shades are great. I just, very, very little versatility. So with that, if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.